Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Sally and this is Secret Life of a Seamstress. So for today's video I am sharing something a little bit different. If you watched my previous video, my makes video, you would have heard the sad tale of my poor broken overlocker and how it finally led me to replacing it. But when I mentioned this on my video, a couple of people messaged me and said they'd be interested in seeing what overlocker I went for to replace it with, and maybe would I do an unboxing video. So here I am with my first ever unboxing video, and I hope this will go okay. So my previous overlocker was a Toyota overlocker. It was a real cheapie, but it's lasted me for a good 5 years and it's done me well. It was a really good first overlocker. I think it was only about £150 or something. But as a basic model it was fine, but I just felt like no one else had ever heard of this Toyota overlocker, and it was really difficult to get parts for. And I actually went on an overlocking course when I first got that, and even the lady that ran the course said she'd never encountered a Toyota overlocker before. So there you go. Someone did comment on one of my videos actually and say that they also had a Toyota overlocker similar to the one that I was using, so I know that there are some of us out there that have used the Toyota overlockers. But anyway, I decided to go for a Janome. So I did quite a bit of research. I did ask around on Instagram and see what overlockers other people recommended. I have had a Janome sewing machine. The past two sewing machines I've had have been a Janome sewing machine, and I really like the Janome brand, so I was kind of persuaded to stick with them because I know that you can get parts and needles and things easily for them, and they've never really let me down in the past. So I was mainly erring towards the Janome overlocker. People did recommend me all different makes actually, so it was quite a hard decision, but in the end I decided to go for this one, which is the Janome Mylock 644D. So I ordered this from Sew Machines Direct on Tuesday afternoon, and it arrived the next day, Wednesday morning, so super quick service from them. And I found their pricing really competitive as well. I did sort of hunt around and just make sure that I was getting the best deal with it, and yeah, the pricing was really good. So I will put a link below to where I bought this machine from, just in case anyone's interested. It's sat in the box for a couple of days now. Today's Friday because I just wanted to make enough time to kind of really have a good look at it and get it all out and give it a try and everything. So I will unbox it now. So here it is. It was lovely and light actually to lift out of the box. My other one was a bit of a heavy beast, and I used to keep it up on the top of my cupboard behind me and lifting it up and down there all the time. It was really heavy. This one feels really light actually to take out of the box, so that's always a bonus. It's come pre-threaded actually already with 4 spools on the top there. Although some of the cones had actually fallen over in the box, so I'm just hoping that it hasn't all got tangled up. But it looks as though, yeah, it's all pre-threaded, which is really good because it's all set up and ready to go. And you can see that some of the cottons have come off of the thread guide thing up the top there. But yeah, that's what it looks like. I'm kind of looking at this from the wrong angle here, aren't I? But this actually does 2 thread, 3 and 4 thread. So you've got the tension dials here, the thread spools go at the back there, and this thread guide thing here. It looks as though it's all colour coded in terms of threading. Just open that, at least it's nice and clean. My other one was so fluffy inside. I don't want to get it dirty. And that's what it looks like inside. All colour coded in terms of threading, so you just follow the colour codes, I guess. It looks really good. It's so lovely and shiny and new. I have my presser foot there, and electric cord, and there's like a dust cover that comes with it there as well. Big thick instruction booklet, and there's also an instruction DVD that goes with this as well, so I think I'm going to give that a little watch in a minute and just see what I'm doing with it before I have a go. That's that, and then I've got this little side drawer which has all your bits and pieces in it, so I'll try and show you. So you've got some oil to oil the machine, thread net things, spare needles, oh, a spare blade as well, that's really handy, tweezers, got your screwdriver for tightening things up, more thread net things, and some cotton holders, what are they called? Cotton holder things. Another little tiny screwdriver, and then like a little lint remover, which never seems to remove enough lint, does it? And then, I'm not sure what that is. Oh, I think that might be a needle threader. Yeah, it is a needle threader, I think. And some kind of spanner. So that's what you get in the little accessories box. That's good. So it's nice to have some spare needles and also a spare blade as well. That's really handy. I assume it's a spare blade. I don't know if it does anything different to the normal blade. I guess I'll find out when I watch the DVD. But yeah, that's what you get in the box, straight out of the box. So I'm going to go off and watch the DVD now, and then I will come back and have a little play around with some scrap fabrics that I've got here in my bag and just show you how the stitches work and things. I just thought I'd bring the camera a little bit closer to the machine just so that you can see it, because where I was standing before you may not have been able to see close up what I was trying to show you. So here we have the tension dials, and they're all colour coded. So each looper has its own colour, which is really handy for threading up. And yeah, you can tell which tension dial works with which thread, which is really handy. So there's my needles. I'll try and move the camera really slowly so as not to make anyone feel trouble sick. Yep, here's my needles. It's got a stitch seam allowance guide, which is really handy. My other overlocker didn't have that actually, and it was a little bit awkward trying to guess how much you were chopping off. So I just open that bit so you can see the inside if you're interested. And I just love how clean this is. I feel like I don't want to use it. My other one was so dusty, and no matter how much I cleaned it, I just couldn't seem to get all of the dust out. So there's the guide, the threading guide, and it doesn't look too complicated actually. It looks very similar to the one that I've just had, so I'm hoping that it's not going to be too difficult to thread up when I come to re-thread again. I hope that's helpful just to see those bits. There's another button there, not sure what that is actually, just without looking at it properly. Standard RH, not sure, oh, rolled hem. Standard sewing and rolled hem, there you go, I've remembered. So yeah, I'm also really looking forward to trying out the rolled hem feature, because my Toyota overlocker didn't have that either, so yeah, super exciting. So I'm back, it's the next day now. Yesterday I went off and watched the DVD, and when I came back from doing the school run and everything, it was so dark and rainy that I just couldn't do any more filming yesterday. And it's probably a good thing anyway, because I think if I'd have filmed yesterday, it just would have been a lot of me looking confused trying to work everything out. So yesterday evening I had a little play around with the machine, did a couple of test sews and things, and just kind of familiarised myself with it a little bit more. Obviously I'll get to know it more as I sew different garments on it, but so far it seems pretty easy to work. Certainly the DVD was really helpful. I really like it when companies will send a DVD as well as an instruction booklet, because for me personally anyway, it's much more helpful to see something done rather than just try to read it in a book. The DVD was pretty 80s style, but so it's obviously been going for a while, but yeah, it was really helpful to have that. And then I just went through the instruction book and had a little play around with all the different sort of techniques and how things worked in the machine. And yeah, it seems quite easy to use so far. Just to say, I'm not a very good advocate for handmade in this video. I've been wearing ready to wear jumpers in both of the scenes so far, but I wouldn't want to give anyone the impression that I wear handmade clothes every day, because I most definitely don't. So today is Saturday and we're just doing jobs around the house and taking the dog for a walk and things, so this is what I'm wearing today, just a big sweatshirt from H&M. I think it would be wrong to give anyone the impression that I wear handmade clothes every day, because I definitely don't. Right, so I'm going to bring the camera a little bit closer to the machine now and try and show you some of the things that I've found about it so far, and hopefully that will be helpful. So one of the first things that I learned was, remember this little accessories drawer that I showed you when I unboxed the machine? It came in this little kind of tray which clips onto the front of the machine here, and it actually catches all the lint and stuff while you are overlocking, so that's really helpful because fluff goes everywhere when you're sewing with an overlocker, doesn't it? So yeah, you just take the little accessories box out when you're using it and it becomes a little bin. So that's really helpful. And then obviously when you put it away, you just put your little accessories box back in it to store it. I thought that was really good, and obviously you can use it as a bit of extra sort of table space, I suppose, if you want to while you're using it. So you have the seam guides here, which is going to be quite difficult to show you on the camera, but there's seam guides here, and it actually shows you the cut-in width from the left needle and the right needle, which is helpful. On my old machine I didn't have any kind of seam guides at all, so I always had to kind of eyeball it or measure first and then just hope that I was straight enough to carry on my cutting. So that's really handy. Tension dials here, as I said, so the book recommends that you always start off with all of them on 3 and then you test your fabric and just see where you need to change them if you do. So it's left needle, right needle, upper looper, lower looper, and they're all colour coded and colour coded inside as well, just for easy threading. So this button here is the looper tension setting, so you keep it on standard for normal overlocking and switch it to rolled hem if you're doing a rolled hem. So this here is the knife release, so you pull this bit out, move it up, the knife is here, and that lifts the knife. If you ever want to lower the knife and not cut while you're sewing, then you pull it out and then just slide it down there. So that's quite easy. So when you're doing a rolled hem, there's like a needle plate slider thingy here, and this at the top here says S for standard overlocking, and then there's an R at the bottom there which you switch to if you're going to do a rolled hem. This is how my rolled hem turned out. I don't know if you can see that there because obviously it's in a white thread, but it's just sewn really narrow hem along the jersey, just to give it a nice finished edge if you don't want to turn up the hem, which is really handy. So there are quite a lot of sort of hints and tips in the book as well for doing different things, for how to change your stitch length and differential feed and everything for the kind of stitching you're doing. So there you go, rolled hem up there tells you the kind of where you need to set your stitch length, where you need to put your differential feed ratio, and your needle plate setting, just in case you ever forget. So just to show you, I don't think I showed you these knobs on the side here. So you've got a differential feed and then stitch length, and you just swap those around depending on the type of fabric that you're using. I don't think I had that on my machine. If I did, I certainly never played around with it. So it's going to be good to have that, particularly when sewing sort of jersey weight fabric or even coating, which I'm hoping to try out a coat project soon. So it'll be handy to know which settings to have those on. So I hope that was a little bit helpful just to see the different parts of the machine. I have got a little project that I wanted to try as my first make using this overlock. I'm going to make a Tilly and the Buttons Agnes top with this puffy jersey from Stop and Still that I've had in my stash for a little while. and I thought that would be quite a nice, easy kind of quick project to start with using this machine. So I'm not going to film me making it or anything because I don't want this to become a sew along, but I will come back at the end of the video and just show you the make and show you how it's sewn up. Hopefully it will go okay, fingers crossed. And just so that you can see the stitches and things and see how it sews up. So I'm back now and it's Monday morning. Yesterday afternoon, Sunday afternoon, I spent a very happy hour sewing up my first make on the overlocker, so I thought I'd just show you how it went. So I sewed up this Agnes top in the lovely Stuff and Still cotton jersey that I showed you on Saturday, and this is how it's sewed up. I love this print, it's so retro. So retro and floral, it's really pretty, and there's some bits of glitter in there as well. I won't show you too much about this make because I will include it in my next makes video, but I sewed it up completely on the overlocker, all the seams on the overlocker, and hopefully my camera will focus this time and show you seams inside. I think you can see that. So it's sewed up really nicely. I read the instructions and just altered my stitch length and my differential feed to knit fabric as it said, and then I did a little tester just to make sure that it was sewing okay. Yeah, and then I sewed it up completely on the overlocker, apart from the neckband, which I always tack in first, and then I sewed that in on the overlocker as well. That's how that's turned out. It's really neat and it sews really quietly and smoothly. So yeah, and then I just turned up my hems on the sewing machine with the twin needle. So it was so quick to sew this up. I think I sewed it up in actually under an hour. I did cut it out on Saturday and then sewed it all up yesterday. And yeah, really super quick. So I'm really pleased with my first make on the overlocker. Looking forward to sewing up some new projects on it and getting to know it a bit more. So I hope that video was interesting. As I say, a couple of people had asked me what overlocker I was going to go for and whether I would just show it in the next video that I did. So I thought I'd just film a separate little video just taking you through how I found the machine on my first couple of days with it. And hopefully if you're thinking about buying a new overlocker, it might be interesting to you too. So I leave the video there and just say thank you very much for watching. I would love you to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. If you are subscribed, don't forget to click the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any future videos. And of course, thank you so much to everyone who has already subscribed and everyone who watches my videos. And my next video is going to be a sew along, I think, with a little bit of a twist, so do look out for that one. And I will see you in my next video. Bye!